Good evening and welcome to this live stream from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and this man right next to me, Will and D.
How's it
As
going,
we go
everyone?
over as we go over the college basketball preview for this week. How's it going, my man?
Going good, and happy to have college basketball going and college football. It's a fun time.
Oh man, it most certainly is.
hmm
And tonight we're going to be starting off with some of the best games. And, I guess we're going to have the Champions Classic. It would not be a college basketball season starter without Duke, Michigan State, and Kansas, Kentucky.
Oh man, like when those four teams, it seems like they play each other every year in their Champions Classic. Always a fun time.
Oh, it most certainly is. But we won't be starting with that tonight
hmm
because we're going to be starting off with tonight's game between
hmm
St. Mary's and New Mexico. Now, every time everybody thinks of the West Coast Conference, they think of Gonzaga,
hmm
but that team that's fighting them is St. Mary's.
hmm
Ooh.
Yeah, and New Mexico out of the Mountain West. The Mountain West has turned into the seventh best conference for college basketball. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's gone a lot deeper. And two All Mountain West players for New Mexico, Jamal Mashburn Jr. and Jalen House at the guard spot. They're going to provide a challenge, but it's hard to go into St. Mary's and win, especially with Aiden Mahaney, who was like one of the best freshmen in the country last year, and Alex Dukas is back too. It's going to be a great game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and especially when you got Randy Bennett as head coach. I mean, he's done such a
hmm
magnificent job over there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Richard Pitino at New Mexico. I mean, he didn't do a great job at Minnesota, but it's working out in New Mexico for him.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with St. Mary's on this one. Who are you gonna go with on this matchup?
I can't bet against St. Mary's at home.
There you go. I don't think I'm going to either, to be honest. Well, and then we got tomorrow night as we have a battle between Arizona and Duke. That's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be pretty big right there.
I mean, I usually don't root for Duke, but seeing the Cameron Crazies back for a big game, you can't not watch that Duke in a big game at home.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it's just gonna be pretty big seeing this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna take a chance on Arizona on this one.
Ooh, Caleb Love coming back to Durham with his new team going off. I could see it. I could see
Yeah,
it. Mm-hmm.
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be magnificent. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's some guys like Kyle Flipkowski and Tyrese Proctor. I mean, what's your
Yeah.
take on those guys?
Kyle was great last year for Duke, and Proctor was good too, but they didn't have quite the season they wanted, so they're like, all right, we're going to come back and try it again and see if we can win at Duke without Coach K. See if they can pull off a natty without him. I mean, they're ranked number 2, but I feel like Duke's always ranked a little higher than they should be. So we'll see. We'll see if they can live up to it.
Well, it could be that the love that everybody has for like Dickie V, and everybody's still like loving the nostalgia of Coach K. So I mean, there's that.
Yeah, we'll see if John Shire can do it, but it'll be challenging, definitely, to live up to those expectations that Coach K set onto the program.
I'm glad I'm not John Shire. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And you got to be glad that he's not playing VCU, as my Rams upset him in the
Oh, good
2007
grief.
NCAA tournament. Very famous game for VCU. So I'm
Oh
definitely
yeah,
better for him that he's playing Arizona and not VCU.
that's for sure.
mm-hmm.
But then also tomorrow night we have a great game between Texas A&M and Ohio State at 6 p.m. Central Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Peacock app. What's your take on the Ohio State at the Texas A&M?
Well, Ohio State's last season was a disaster. So they're definitely hoping to have a better season this season. But Buzz Williams, man, what a job he's done at Texas A&M. Just one of the best coaches in the country for sure.
Man, I mean, he's done an outstanding job at Texas A&M. I mean, at least he's earning something. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, unlike someone that we know in the college football world.
Oh yeah, he definitely has more love than Jimbo in College Station right now. I'll say that.
Oh yeah. You got me convinced. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M for the road upset.
Yeah, I mean Tyrese Radford for A&M, he's a baller.
Ooh,
He was at BG at one point. But yeah, I just trust Buzz more than I trust. I know Columbus is a tough place to go, but I think the Aggies will do it.
There we go.
See if Chris Holtmann gets on the hot seat this year.
Yeah, that's going to be a big question because they were such a disaster last year. Also tomorrow night on Peacock, after the Texas A&M Ohio State matchup, we got ourselves a matchup between the Tennessee Volunteers and the Wisconsin Badgers.
Wisconsin and Madison's never easy to play. I mean, they just play bully ball there. Like sometimes with these fouls, I'm like, oh my gosh, are these guys trying to mug him? But they never get called flagrant fouls. So it'll definitely be interesting to see if the Vols can get out of there without any injuries. But yeah, Tennessee had a great year last year. I believe they beat Duke in the tournament, so that was great for all those on Rocky Top. They're getting excited about their team like they were back with Bruce Pearl was there.
Yeah, but the thing with Rick Barnes is they always come up short in March Madness. They're always a great regular season team, but they are such a disaster in the postseason.
Yeah, that was like I'm like, oh my gosh, is Rick Barnes finally gonna go on a run in March Madness after he beat Duke? But it's like, no, just Sweet 16.
True.
Which, for Greg Barnes is kind of an accomplishment, which is kind of sad to say. They're like, yeah, I actually didn't lose, made it past the first weekend for once, but.
There you go. I mean, I just wonder if he'll get past the first weekend or basically go to the second weekend this year.
But yeah, I got to pick Wisconsin at home in Madtown.
Same here. I'm going with the Badgers on that one. That is for sure. You know, I was thinking about this Nets game. It reminds me of a Mount West Conference game, but then I'm like, oh, right, this team is not in the Mount West anymore. And they most certainly are not sharing a conference with Gonzaga. They are now joining the Big 12. We got the BYU Cougars going up against the San Diego State Aztecs.
Obviously, the Aztecs had a great year last year, made it to the championship game. But I have a feeling that they're going to be the TCU of college basketball. Like, they lost a lot of their guys from last year. They aren't ranked in the top 25, and Provo's such a tough place to go. So, I don't know. I'm feeling BYU.
You think BYU's going to be the Colorado?
I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I don't think they're going to have a fun time in the Big 12 this year with how strong that conference is. But I do think they'll get one over on their old Mountain West foe, as BYU's been in a ton of conferences, man. It's confusing. But at one point, they were in the Mountain West. So I think they'll get one over on the Aztecs in Provo.
Well, I'm going to say not so fast to you, my friend. I'm going Aztecs. But we do have a big one on Monday night. It's one of the Gavitt tip-off games, part of the Big East and the Big Ten, as we have a matchup between Xavier and Purdue Monday night. I mean, this should be pretty good for Purdue because, I mean, they're not going to be going up against Fairleigh Dickinson.
But it is not easy to go to the Cintas Center and win, man. That is a rowdy atmosphere there in Cincy. But Zach Edey's going to be there back as well. Well, pretty much the whole team's going to be back for Purdue. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because they still have that choking DNA in them. But they're going to try to do what Virginia did when they lost in the first round, bring everyone back and win.
Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty big bounce back night at home for Purdue. So I mean, I'm gonna go with Purdue on that one
Yeah, Purdue won. That's a tough road environment, so I think they'll get it done. But it should be a great game.
for sure. It'll be a fun
Cool.
one.
Yeah.
But then we got the first half of the State Farms Champions Classic, Duke Michigan State matchup. Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN.
Mhm.
Oof.
Now, I would be more confident in Michigan State, but they lost to James Madison. You don't lose to James Madison in basketball. So I'm
Mm.
thinking Duke will bounce back after losing to Arizona at home and beat Michigan State.
Ooh, there we go. I think I'll go right with you with the Blue Devils. I think old John Shire can pull it out.
Yeah.
So there we go. Then we got Shakalaka Smart leading the Marquette Golden Eagles against the Illinois Fighting Illini Tuesday night, and one of the other Gavitt tip-off games at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. What's your take on this game, Will?
Now, there's a bit of history between Brad Underwood and Shaka Smart.
Ooh, let's hear
As
it.
I was really excited to see VCU go in the NCAA tournament. I'm bad at years, so I don't remember which year. I believe it was 2014. Yeah, 2014. But
Yeah.
Brad Underwood, Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks upset my Rams, and that was heartbreaking. I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
yeah, but I think Shaka will get his revenge. I think he'll pull it out in Champaign with Tyler Collick having a big game.
Yeah, that'll be pretty big to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Marquette on that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that things go well for them at Marquette this year. They probably should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little
So,
disappointing that they lost to Michigan State, but Tom in the second round. But Tom Izzo's such a good coach that it wasn't too bad.
yeah, that's true. There's no shame in losing to Izzo.
Yeah, in the tournament, no shame there.
Well, and right after the college football playoff rankings for week 12 on
Mm-hmm.
ESPN, we got the second half of the State Farms Champions Classic between Kansas and Kentucky Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. What's your take on that one?
I don't know if John Calipari's starting to lose it a bit. Like, I don't know, man. Like the recruiting just hasn't been as good. Transfer portal hasn't been as good this offseason. And I feel like Bill Self's on top of the college basketball world right now. Obviously, they didn't do as well in the tournament as they wanted to. Kansas did, losing to Arkansas. But that was without Bill Self. Bill Self will be back for this game. I'm going Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Oh man, that big lifetime contract that Self got.
I think it's worth it, but we'll see. They might regret it. I mean, but I just think Bill Self's too good.
That's true. I mean, I'm gonna go with Self as well.
Yeah.
So, and finally, we got our last game on this
Mm-hmm.
list. We got one of the other three Gavitt tip-off games between Iowa and Creighton.
Man, playing in Omaha. I can't go against Omaha. I'm going Ryan Kalkbrenner and Creighton in this one.
There you go.
It's going to be a great atmosphere in Omaha.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Creighton on that one as well. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not real wise to go against them. I wonder what's going on with Fran McCaffrey in Iowa basketball.
I think he's got to be getting on the hot seat. I think right. I mean, they never make it out of the first weekend. I mean, they've had. I mean, I wouldn't say the hot. I think they win the Big Ten again. Maybe not the hot seat, but he's kind of like Chip Kelly at UCLA. I feel like they beat the teams that they're supposed to in the tournament, but never. Well, not all the time, but
Right.
you know what I mean. Like he's doing just enough to keep his job.
Well, they did win the conference tournament in 2022, so
yeah. But they lost to Richmond in the first round, so
yeah, that's a no-no. You can't be doing that.
Yeah.
So I see what you mean by doing just enough.
Yeah.
I think that new AD is gonna get tired of Fran McCaffrey. I mean,
it'll be interesting. I mean, it's a lot. Yeah, she got tired of Brian Ferentz fast, just like the rest of us did.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd get pretty tired too.
Yeah.
So that's maybe we'll wait and see. Something will happen, or maybe something won't. We don't know yet. But there is one little game on this list that we missed out on. Georgetown Rutgers. One of the Gavitt tip-off.
Rutgers also having a disaster start, losing to Princeton.
Ooh. Yeah, you can't do that.
So this is a good chance for Ed Cooley to get off to a good start, beat Rutgers while they're down.
Yeah.
At least for now. Obviously, Georgetown was a disaster under Patrick Ewing, so it'll be interesting to see if he can turn them back into at least a bubble team this year.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite surprised when Cooley left Providence, but when I found out he was leaving for Georgetown, I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because there's a higher ceiling at Georgetown, I feel like, than there is. No disrespect to the Friars, but.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on with Providence this year. I mean, that's my question. But of course, Rutgers will have to.
They got Kim English now in Providence.
Yeah, I think that Rutgers, they'll have to get through their next 2 games before they worry about what they got at hand Wednesday night.
Yeah. It should be a fun one in Jersey Mike's Arena, one of my favorite restaurants.
Oh man, it sounds pretty fun. I'll have to go there sometime.
Yeah, it's like a better Jimmy John's.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Well, we got ourselves an exciting lineup, and we're not quite at the Maui Invitational yet. So, what are your thoughts on
It's always fun to see if Chaminade can knock someone off this year in the Maui Invitational, but we're like, do you remember when they knocked out Oklahoma that one year? We were like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, they got knocked out. We were like, what? Oh, man. That was pretty big.
What's the game you're most looking forward to, Jackson, out of all of them?
That's a very good question. I mean, I'm just going to have to say the Champions Classic, honestly. Because it's like, I want to see what's going on with Kansas, Michigan State, Duke, and Kentucky. And to your point where you talked about Kentucky, are they going down with Calipari? I mean, the last time they went to the Final Four was 2015. Last time they went to the Natty was 2014. What is going on over in Lexington? Good grief.
Yeah, they had a couple years of getting close, like with De'Aaron Fox team and the PJ Washington team. But that De'Aaron Fox team was the last team I really felt like could win the national championship. They got this close to beating North Carolina, but they haven't been that close to a Final Four since. That's unacceptable. Bad. Unacceptable.
Yeah, you cannot be doing that in Lexington. That is a no. But what's the game you're really most looking forward to on this list?
I want to see Caleb Love go back to the Cameron Indoor Stadium and put on a show.
Oh, there we go. See a little Arizona Duke. That's gonna be a
Mhm.
good one.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be exciting there.
for sure.
And I guess that's the last bit of this preview for right now.
Mhm.
And we got ourselves. And what'd you think, man?
I mean, just a lot of so happy that college basketball is back. Already had some big upsets like James Madison over Michigan State and Rutgers over Princeton, and sadly McNeese State over VCU. But
Oh
yeah,
man,
it's gonna be fun to see what happens.
that is for sure. And for those who are checking us out, you can check me out on YouTube / Jackson Johnson 979, where you can see like some of these live streams right here. You can see some of my latest episodes of the Jacksonian on YouTube, and you can also see updates right here on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads, where you just kind of see me run my mouth about everything going on, and I'll give like little updates on what's going on with me, so to speak. And Will, where can everybody find you?
You can find me over at Marcus_Era on Twitter, and you can find me over at Will and D, my personal channel, and the Voice of College Football Notre Dame, where I'll be on after every Irish game. Not sure I can be on after the Wake game just because of personal reasons, but I'll definitely be there for the Stanford game. And you can also see me calling into Mark Rogers' shows as if I'm available, I'll probably be calling in to chat some college football.
There you go. And you can also find Will right here on Instagram and on threads.net.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a fun one. And I look forward to doing one of these once more. And we will catch you next time.
Thanks, everyone.